Hello, dear viewers. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as we embark on this incredible voyage of discovery. Alex Collier's experiences have the potential to reshape our understanding of the universe and our reality, and your support can help spread this valuable message to the world. Before we delve deeper into Alex's wisdom, I kindly ask you to hit that like button below. It may seem like a small action, but your likes empower us to reach a wider audience. Doing so makes you an integral part of this community, united in our pursuit of truth. And while we're at it, why not hit that subscribe button too? By subscribing, you'll be notified whenever we release new videos, ensuring you won't miss a moment of Alex Collier's extraordinary insights. Trust me, you will want to see what's coming. Now sit back and relax while Alex Collier unveils. Are Enki and Enlil still among us?
We have, I'm going to feature this one first because this is from James. And James has been running this for 97 webinars and he's hardly ever asked any questions at all. And it's interesting to me. Enki and Enlil, are they still here? Do they still live? Are they alive? Are they aging? And are they known to us on the planet, or are they completely hidden?
My understanding is that Enlil is still in the same body he was in 10, 15,000 years ago. Enki, I understand, had crossed over and then reincarnated into a younger form. Do they actually live on Earth? My understanding is they do not. They do not. I've heard a lot of stories and rumors that supposedly Enki lives inside the Earth. The A's have said no, that is simply not the case. One of his sons is here and has not done a very good job of managing the Earth at all. And I'm not sure I even want to tell you who he is.
Oh, please.
Well, in some tales, he's known as Marduk. In others, he's known as Ra. Boy, that's an involved story. Supposedly, he's the one who lives inside the Earth. And he has a real chip on his shoulder. A real chip on his shoulder. Why he allowed things to get so bad on the surface, I just simply don't know. I don't understand it. But that's one of the reasons why the Nibiruans specifically are returning to fix this. And to remove what's left of the Anunnaki that are here and have been here, living underground. Because they have the same bad temperament, the same chip on their shoulders. I do not understand all the decisions that were made, that when the Nibiru left, why they would leave specific people in charge, why they would choose to leave the half-breeds here to do what they have done to humanity over the years. Not every single one of them has been malevolent towards humanity, but those who haven't been malevolent have really tended to be off by themselves and just observe. They never really involve themselves with the affairs of man on the surface. But they have all this knowledge. They have all this knowledge of our history and who we really are and where we've come from and the history of wars and manipulation and earth changes that have occurred that would give us a real historical knowledge and a grounding as to who we are as a race or races. And all of that's been withheld and hidden from us to keep us on this freaking spiral of just like a hamster wheel of just being driven to move forward, to get ahead, and yet not really making any ground. Because we've had previous civilizations on this planet who were more advanced than we are right now. But we're driven to move towards the future. But we're not really getting anywhere, and that's because of the structures that have been put in place to keep us stuck, for lack of a better word. I've used this analogy before, over the years, of the boy who walks onto a pier and he sees a man pulling out crab pots. And he puts the crabs in a bucket and then he throws it back in and he's watching the crabs in the bucket and the little boy says, "Sir, those crabs are going to get out. They're going to crawl away." He goes, "No, they're not going to get out because the others will pull them back in." And that's exactly what happens. The others pull him back in to make sure he doesn't get out of the pot. Well, that's what humanity's been doing unconsciously, as we've been keeping ourselves stuck with our dogma and then forcing the dogma on everyone else to remain stuck. And if we find someone who's outside the box of the dogma, what we do is we attack them, we ridicule them as being different, being weird, being psycho, whatever the terms are, and what do? Is they withdraw. Or if they're young enough, they just go into denial and they suppress those spiritual gifts or knowledge that they have, tools, and they just ignore it. We've done it to ourselves. And that has to stop. And it is stopping. It is stopping. There are a lot of people in this world who are waking up, reawakening their spiritual gifts that they've had as kids. There are many younger people coming in who have these gifts already, and they're not suppressing them. They're not buying into the dogma, and they're basically telling everybody who's different, who says that they're different, go F yourself. I know what I'm doing. I know who I am. And they're moving forward. Bravo to them. So there's a lot of valiant people everywhere at all different walks of life stepping forward. I just hope with this webinar and whatever body of work I have that's of value to anybody, to inspire them to continue to do the work and to help others step into their personal power as they themselves increase their own personal power by moving into the world and through the world now, trusting their heart space, trusting to lead with the heart as opposed with just the mind, the ears, and the eyes. Because if you look at the world today, many things that we thought were the way they are, they're not. And we know this now. Well, the reality is they never were what we thought they were. It was an illusion. It was a dialogue that they kept bombarding us with, saying, this is the way it is, this is the way it is, getting us to believe that this is the way it is. And let's face it, perception is reality. Okay? Well, now our perceptions are changing. Okay? but we have to clearly see what reality is. And we're not going to do it just with this. We have got to use our spiritual selves to truly know, so that we can make this shift and remove the dogma, remove the illusions that have been fed to us, that have kept us trapped. There's only going to be fear if we don't know where we're going, which is why we have a dialogue, which is why we're getting so much help. The disclosure of the Space Force, and the fact that we're not alone. These are all huge components to awakening humanity, to giving us a different version, or to show us the possibilities of what humanity can become. Star Trek, Star Wars, there is no limit to intent at all. No limit whatsoever. And the fact that we create a focus with intent, then we use our compassion, our emotions, to draw the physical creation to us, to manifest those realities. We can make anything happen. We literally can create anything we want. We just got to know what that is. And we're going to make some mistakes, but that's all part of the process. But we have to think as a humanity, okay? Not just a singular country, not just as a singular being. We have to think as a humanity, because, whether you like it or agree or not, we're family, okay? We are all family, because we're all sharing this space. And, 90% of the people on this planet are really decent folks. They really are. And there are a lot of commonalities between us, regardless of where we live. There's a lot more to agree on than not to. It's that 10% who have really gummed up the works. But we need to see what it is that they've done. We have to acknowledge what they've done. And then we have to take that experience and move humanity in another direction, a direction that benefits everyone. That just has to be. That just has to be. You have unlimited space. You have unlimited wealth. We're multidimensional beings, living simultaneous lives and reincarnating simultaneously in different dimensions. Why are people pooping in the street in San Francisco? What's up with that? It's broken. These people are broken, and there's no reason for it. There's literally no reason for it. We have to shift. We have to make a shift here. And it's beginning. We're beginning to see it. To get back to disclosure, that's all well and fine. Those of us who have been awake for a while, we know, have already known that we're not alone. Okay? It's a mathematical impossibility, and everybody agrees with that we're alone. Okay, fine. But the minute that that's absolutely obvious to everyone, humanity makes a shift just like that. It'll be a click. It'll be an aha moment for everyone around the world. Literally. even if they were to show us what's been going on underground and who they are and what they are, even if they were to do that, even if they were to come totally clean about the inner earth, we would have very much the same situation. That click, we would already know we're not alone. Okay, well, that gives us a different perspective. Well, who are they? How do they live? Where did they come from? How did they get here? Can we get there? How do they educate their people? How do they raise their children? How do they eat? What do they eat? What's their food source? What technology do they have that they use every single day? Do they pollute their environment? Well, obviously, if they're coming here, they're not, because they have very advanced technology. Okay? Most of the warfaring species that are out there are being forced to come around because their sphere of influence is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. They now have to make a paradigm shift themselves of controlling others to being completely self-reliant and stepping into their own personal power and becoming part of a community. Planetary community, star nation community. Okay, they have to learn to go along and get along with everybody else, because that nonsense is not going to be tolerated any longer. Okay. The purpose of the 12th density that was created back in 93 was to unitize all the dimensions below it. That's what it's doing. And I told you that back in 93, that's what it was doing. It was connecting everything together. Okay? Well, that's what's going on here. We're the caboose, though. Okay? We're in the caboose. But as far as time goes, this is happening very, very quickly. You know, in 5 years, you may not even recognize the world or the planet in a good way. In 10 years, it could be absolutely phenomenal. In 25 years, you know, it could be paradise. It really could be for everyone. For everyone. You know, and it's our responsibility to step up. Whether you want to or not, you're going to. So you might as well engage. You might as well participate in this. You know, and like I said earlier, those of us over 40, we are responsible to step up and at least have a conversation with the younger generations and say, look, we know stuff. Don't think we're out of touch, we're idiots, because we're not. We're really not. We know stuff. We've lived it. Okay? We know what it was like without that. And if all that were to go away, what's going to happen to your fuzzy little head if you don't have your internet, your cell phone, your Twitter? You know, what's going to happen to you? Are you going to lose your mind or what? You know what I'm saying? You know how to grow a plant? It's just, you know, it's just simple stuff that most of this younger generation hasn't got a clue about, and it's a disservice to them to not install some of that, to reintegrate them with our society, with the earth itself. A lot of them talk a big game. They do. Because they hear all their friends talk about it, or the Progressive Party talk about it. You know, but most of the progressives aren't doing anything that they're talking about. In fact, they're doing just the opposite. The reason they talk about this is they try to inspire an emotional response to garner more control, more power. And it's both, and it happens everywhere in politics. It's what it's about. Okay? We need to shed the light on that. We do. We have to change the paradigm. And we have to step up. I assure you, we have to step up. They're not going to come in and save us. They're going to give us a hand. They're going to offer knowledge. They're going to offer mentoring to get us through these rough stages, to show us how to make these leaps, okay, with the least amount of disruption or tragedy. But we got to do the work no matter what. We have to do the work. And we should want to. We should want to. We're so invested in this in our race anyway. You know, the potentiality for humanity on this planet is literally unlimited. We're awesome. We just don't know it. We're the last to find out. We're the last to find out just how awesome we are. You know? Okay. I kind of rattled on there. I'm sorry.
Remember, knowledge is power. With your help, we can bring this enlightenment to a broader audience. So please take a moment to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to tap that bell icon. Together, we can unlock the secrets of the universe and usher in a new era of understanding. Thank you so much for your continued support of Alex's work. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to see Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org